grab a Bible. It's an old Bible. Or is it? Something about it looks familiar. Ah, it's a hollowed out Bible with an opinion book inside. Blasphemous. This used to be a sacred text. Let's read some of the opinion pieces, shall we? Can't help but wonder what the young tearaways have to say about one another and the staff. Let's read about Scarlet. Let's see. Scarlet, not many friends unless you count the ones she knitted clothes for and sewed buttons on. Poor Scarlet. At least her doll won't pick on her like whoever wrote this entry. What about Bertram? Bertram hangs about with a yellow-haired cut purse who gloats about joining the circus. Orphans and street urchins cavorting together. It's not uncommon when the conditions at the orphanage force them to run away. About Sister Susanna. Get an earful of this. Sister Susanna, all sorts of rum. One moment she flashes a wistful smile at the orphans, the next she bursts into tears and walks away. Do we remind her of someone she loved, or someone she lost? Orphans come and go through adoptions, the workhouses, or death. Likely she's trying not to get too attached to her charges. Easier said than done. Leave it alone. Let's get the meter stick. This vicious instrument of punishment. Vestal hands could never fall asleep in class if you want your knuckles to remain unwrapped. How can one be expected to learn and internalize life lessons if they can't feel safe in a classroom of all places? Well, that's a little bit of modern thinking. Sometimes the kids need a good wallop. Pay attention. Alright. Ooh, fireplace. Last photo. Faded old photograph of Sacred Heart's ragamuffins. I remember when it was taken. You had to stand still for so long it seemed like a week. He took one of these photos every year, provided there was money for it. Judging by the lack of any recent images, they must have stopped hiring a photographer at all. Everyone looks so tiny, well, except for me. There beside me is Leo, the only friend I ever had at the orphanage, aside from Heloise. Leo was a dwarf and got picked on just as much as me. But he'd never back down from a fight, so he got the worst of it. Barely 14 when he was missing. The guilt I felt for leaving without it telling him doubled after I heard. I remember now that I ran away less than a week prior. Horrible timing. Alright, as much as I have no place talking to strange children, it's time to talk to strange children. Jeezum, look at the size of you. What do you do for a living, juggle anvils? Yeah, and it beats sitting around in an orphanage staring at the wall. Oh. Failure. I ain't thick, if that's what you're saying, but you are for sure. I'm big, but I'm actually a nice fella. An orphan myself, I was raised here. Name's Atticus, what's yours? To know if niceness gets you anywhere in life round here. Round here it'll get you picked on and that's it. Anyhow, I'm Scarlet. Why on earth would anyone come back to this dung heap? When I get a bit older, my backside is the last thing they're gonna see of me. Something happened around these parts as of late. Seen anything odd? Let's just go straight into... I'm investigating the disappearance of 2 orphans, Bertram and Julie. Know them? You know Bertram and Julie? Yeah, I saw it happen. They're 3 toughs, big fellas like you. They snatched little Julie and tossed her in a grain sack. And as easy as picking a cat up off the ground. When Bertram tried to defend her, he only got himself snatched alongside her. Right alongside her. Why couldn't the sisters do anything? They were scared, I suppose. You look at their faces? They all wore kerchiefs across their faces. Couldn't see anything save for their eyes. Poor girl is still frightened. Better leave her be. Fair knife. Take care now, Scarlet. See you around, Mr. Atticus. Oh, mystery solved. Missing orphan stuffed in a bag. Maybe this kid knew him. Be stronger, talk to strange people. Yeah, I really should. A little girl with curly red hair is staring intently at a book in her hands. Little is right. Either she's small for her age or that engineering text is far too advanced for her. She looks up at me, her face the picture of frustration. Ugh. How does the combustion chamber keep from getting wet? Was self-discipline my best? I think it was. Yeah. Perhaps you should start with something simpler than the internal components of a boiler. Am I ever gonna learn anything if I'm not too scared? If I'm scared of it being too complicated. Face screws up like she took a bite from a large raw onion. You hear that Trudy destroyed another toilet. Classic Trudy. Better not ask for details. And she went to Sister Susanna. You know what she said? I'd love to know what she said. She said, Mimi did it. As if I would do such a monstrous thing. Mimi snaps the book closed to accentuate her point. I need to get out of here. The best way out is an apprenticeship, so I need to learn how the combustion chambers stay dry. She's right. Driven and right. Wish I could help you. When I was growing up here, I wanted to get out as soon as I could. Really? What'd you grow up to become? Don't say a gin bibber. I suppose I'm still figuring that out. Well, I don't have time to think about it. After what happened to Julie and Bertram, I need to leave soon. And it can't be for the workhouse. Heard about what happened to Julie and Bertram. What else can you tell me? Well, I didn't see him vanish, of course, but the sisters told us they had to suddenly leave and work at the cannery. They said they would come to visit. She knows as well as I did the nuns are disingenuous. So I snuck out. I went to the cannery by the wharf. I looked around. Julie and Bertram weren't there. I even asked some of the workers. Nobody knew a thing. Sure it was the right place? Of course it was. They were my only friends here. Now they disappeared. Well, wish you all the best of luck. I hope you become an engineer and escape this life. She doesn't reply. Instead, she opens the book back up and staring at the diagram with rapt attention. Smart cookie. I like her. Shame about what she did to the toilet, though. My old desk. I can vaguely recall leaving myself a message. Try to remember. Yeah, we did it. Here it is, carved on the underside. Atticus, you're probably still ugly. Remarkably prescient. Come now, Atticus. True beauty lies beneath the flesh. Ugh. World map. What's the world like? I always looked at that map and dreamed about how far I'd get away from here as soon as I left. So naturally, instead of Cairo, I ended up on the other side of London. I like how distorted North America looks. It's kind of a pretty accurate map for the time period. Ah, fond memories. Sister Heloise had Leo write, I will not ask Cyclops rude questions 50 times. He deserved it. He asked if they had one of everything. Lol. Let's see. I'm just gonna go rummage through the office. What I'm here for, after all. A dilapidated room with peeling paint. Some of the windows are sealed shut with grime, making the air close and stifling. Luckily, one window has a few busted panes, admitting the breeze every now and then. File cabinets full of gloomy records, orphans unlikely to find a home. Sister Susanna has a head for names and numbers. She tends to the business here. Even so, the papers pile up against the walls. Towers of yellow pages that will surely decompose before anyone reads them. You hope to find any records you're searching for deep in the rabbit hole of paperwork that is the office. Pincushion flowers with wilting leaves, implying the neglect by the sisters. Someone will water them soon. They're dying, for sure. They still got some road ahead. Candy stash. Now then, what kind of goods do we have here? Well, I'll be lollipops. Now, I recently found my kids had stolen the cookies I hide in my desk. And you know what? It would have been really nice if they passed. I mean, I give my kids plenty of cookies out of my secret compartment. That's how they know where my secret compartments are. But, man, some days you need a cookie. And when you don't have one, sad state of affairs. Stack of books in good condition. Titles of the DeBoss covers are glittering in the daylight. Weighty expectations, trying times, I know of these. Not exactly paeans. Sorry. Things that express enthusiastic praise to British politics. With materials like this on hand, the sisters must care deeply for the dispossessed. On second thought, I'm gonna grab those lollipops and make sure to give them to a kid. Theseus' corpse, I feel incredible, wonderful, what a sugar rush can do. I didn't mean to have it immediately. Shoot. I shall leave candy. I thought I was gonna pocket it. I feel terrible now. An ancient hulk of hardwood cabinet. Sturdy enough to house a collection of cannonballs, but currently stuffed with dusty old files. Yeah, let's dig. Character has gained the confident trait and will now be able to select that dialogue option, or dialogue options that require that trait. Let's not get overwhelmed by the number of files here. Look for the letter D. Here it is now. Daily, daily, daily. Ah, my file's still intact. Thank the fates for bookkeeping. As if by design, a small and neatly folded piece of paper falls from the file folder and into my hand. Matilda's letter. Dear sisters, I am forever in your debt. You should read this message. Along with the care of my helpless babe, I must trouble you with another request. Let my child's name remain Atticus Daly so that his heritage might not be lost. His given name is Atticus, and his surname is his father's. My heart is split with grief for leaving you this burden, but the sapphire is genuine. And if you sell the ring for expenses, then so be it. Before God, I will try to correct this turn of fate, but Atticus's life would be stolen if I should keep him. Upon my honor, I will try to make our family whole again, but for now, I am robbed of this privilege. I beg for your kindness and apply for your patience with a promise of return. Matilda Hathaway Daly. Signed with 2 surnames, and that is ever so important now. If Hathaway is a match for the Bethnal's house, and I can confirm her identity. As for my father, Mysterious Mr. Daly, assuming he was the one to have her committed, she's been there all this time. And he probably tried to destroy the marriage record. Some people stop at nothing to preserve their reputation. And it's off to... what's this? It's Leo's file. Yeah, let's look through with Leo's file. He's my buddy. Leonardo Longo, light-skinned, dark of eye, dwarf of Italian origin. Missing, presumed deceased, December 1868. Well, that was bleak. This is difficult to read. I just turned 13 and run away one, I heard. No next of kin established, case considered closed. The Tin Ribs probably didn't even look for him. Just another dead orphan. And I barely thought about him after. Too many sunrises on the horizon. The sun's a lot blurrier now. Most mornings makes me wonder why I never looked closer. Back when my vision wasn't so often double. What else have I forgotten? What else did I ignore? That's enough of that. All that remains is the delicate matter of getting access at Bethnal's house. Clementine should help with that. She was out of town with a patient handler there. And one of the Clem's gin twists would hit the spot. To the Palladium! Lots of heavy paperwork was done at this desk, mostly petitioning the parish for more funding, but also an adoption form every now and then. The sisters may be hardier than they look, but they lock the drawers. But the lock in the drawer is flimsy. "50% chance to pick." I mean, we got what we came from. No need to destroy this place. So I'm trying to be careful, because in the first chapter, like, I smashed some locks and did everything. And then, like, the next chapter, somebody came through and couldn't touch anything. Or, like, everything was stolen, so I couldn't get a bit of it. And our Victorian space prostitute has a magical lockpick. Let's go through the kitchen. How could I forget the door to the kitchen? We would always try to sneak in and steal scraps. And the cook was rather quick to the draw with that spatula. Gives me the shivers even now. Oh, that's where I came in. There we go. Wait, let's see if we can talk to her some more about the missing kids. Thanks, sister. I have what I came for. Oh, well, it's you. You again. I'm pleased. Very pleased, I assure you. I do wish the girl would bring some firewood, though. Hope she does. Goodbye, Susanna. We've read that before. Let's see. And the policeman's there. If I didn't have a bounty on my head, I'd be talking to him about the missing orphans. Let's talk to the orphans about the missing orphans. That's what I came for. Better not waste any time. Ah. Ooh, what an insufferable pair, I can already tell. A couple of biters with piss-poor attitudes. Don't be so judgmental. I was just as rowdy at their age. These two were mulling around the swing set, while the other orphans seemed to be giving them a wide berth. Give me the dice, Horace, you dullard. It's my turn to roll. Shut up, Trudy, you had your turn. Horace and Trudy appear to be playing a game of dice. Chuck-a-luck, I'd say, though it's hard to tell. My name is Atticus Daly, a former resident of this fine institution. Is that right? Well, we never heard a stirk drop of ear before. I bet the sisters were right scared of you back in the day. About the missing orphans, you know anything about Julie or Bertram O'Brien? No one missing as of late. Horace, I don't think he looks like a copper now, does he? Never can tell, but he's certainly not a centaur. So that's a point of scale in the right direction. Should we tell him? Yeah, why not? He'll find out sooner or later if he's sniffing around for long enough. Alright, dead of night up here in the dorm, see? 3 big luggers came and nipped little Julie from her bed. So off goes Birdie chasing her, and they nipped him too. Sakes alive. It was better than the halfpenny show out of the promenade. Appreciate the information. Anytime, Mr. Atticus. Haha, now that's a funny name. Alright. Be seeing you then. Now if we see you first. Yeah, watch out if we see you first. Might get pelted with a chestnut out of thin air. Now where did I leave that slingshot? It's a magic lockpick. Were you able to use it where our morning friend visited? Where it was... No. Okay, so with Clara Reed, we never did end up going down like the same path as Atticus. The dwarf guy did. Leo's memorial. Yeah, let's go look at it and be sad. I'm gonna figure out what happened to you, Leo. An unmarked grave. This child's soul is long departed by the time they were buried. There was no sense in christening them. Few things are as frightening as having nothing to be remembered by. Perhaps a vagrant wandered into the graveyard and died. If it were an orphan, they would have at least recorded a name. Here lies some wastrel. Probably had no parents, but at least he was old enough that we didn't have to house him. Ah, Sister Heloise. A headstone sits quietly in the mossy earth. This woman was kind to me, no matter the dark thickets of trouble I wandered into. I'm overtaken by the chill in the air. What is that weird shimmering? Are we grave robbing? Sister Heloise Lamel. She helped me listen to a deeper heartbeat when born out of the aether, possessed with a gift of magic. I might be able to bring Heloise closer to this world, if only for a few moments. Yeah, let's use our magical powers to connect with Heloise. Is that a thing? Did I make that up? There, I've done it. But her speech is right faint, no louder than the rustling of branches overhead. Uniquely poised to deal with the troubles befalling the unfortunates of the Docklands. For a flickering instant, I saw her face. Not just the orphans, but the crowded poor of the tenements, beset by illness and midnight streetwalkers so easily snatched up for dissection, so that a young doctor might make his qualifications. Ugh. The wagons rattle through the slums by night and under the soiled sheets. Still suffering forms with no family to claim them. Easy prey. Cut to pieces in the name of healing generations yet unborn. Oh yeah, that was her alright. And the blasted crone. The voice was cold and distant. Words garbled. Can't make sense of it anymore. Keep listening. It's nothing but my imagination now. Heloise is gone, if indeed she was ever really there. So yeah, that was kind of my thought. Like, the missing kids and the butchered prostitutes were used for experiments. And I think it has something to do with the werewolves. Like, somebody found a cure for werewolfism at some point in this story, and it's being kept under wraps, and I think it's because somebody has use of the werewolves, and the werewolves seem to be well, I keep finding people that were torn apart with like claws and teeth, so I think the werewolves are involved in probably both of these mysteries. Judging by the engraved record, this old block house is a family of 4. Must have been the Lord of the land and his family. They all died in the same year, a not uncommon occurrence in those times. Thanks to the plague, the land was no doubt donated to Sacred Heart. What's this? Silver cufflink with a Royal Navy insignia and the initials GF. Better leave it here, though it wouldn't be the first time I nicked something from Sacred Heart. I'm actually going to take that one. Too shiny to leave. I suppose I could always find the rightful owner later. Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's going to be needing it. This is a pretty cool playground equipment for an orphanage. Cryokite. Gyrokite. Washed up on the shore and half buried in silt, a flying machine sticks out of the water. Some sort of mechanical artifact embedded in the machinery, but I haven't the mind for all that engineering hoo-ha. We'll come back here as the robot guy. Alright, we got what we need. Whoop. Am I locked inside? Oh, there's a different door. Good. I was worried for a second I was gonna have to talk to the police officer to get out. Rooms for rent. Ears and cogs. And we'll just hand those to the dwarf whenever we see him. Sell them to the dwarf at least. An apple crate. Still a piece of fresh fruit. Yeah, I'll take it. Should offset my gin imbibing just for a smidge. If I go any further, I'd find myself surrounded by workhouse factories. I can't recall ever intending to get closer to a job. I suppose I could change that. All it would take is a few steps in the right direction. First, I better see to the business at hand. I'm trying to improve this guy's quality of life. And it's easy role-playing an alcoholic who needs to quit drinking. You just, you know, quit drinking. You're just like, gin? Nah. I will choose no. Heard of orphans being kidnapped and stuffed into the sack in these. Ironic to find one across from the orphanage. That's the thing, I was wondering if it was the one. Pristine, well-kept, horse-drawn carriage. It's hard to beat the elegance of the classics. Better to embrace change. This one's probably owned by old money. Let's check the compartment under the seat. Not even locked. The rich are far too trusting with of curious passerbys. Doubt 3 shillings is enough to teach any lessons, but it might. I have a brave heart. Thank you. I try. Let's see. It's my house. Yeah. Might as well head right here. Not even the sunlight can lift the pall of despair on Beggar's Lane. I think I've read this one a bunch. Yep.